Well, good afternoon, Ms. Plantier. My name is Kristen Brom, and I'm a sales executive with ReliaQuest. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to meet with me.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for meeting with me.
Of course. Well, how has your day been so far?
So I started to say my morning has been really busy, but I realized that it's afternoon. So my whole day has been busy, but that's good.
Yes, I do the same thing as well. I actually almost said good morning and realized that it is 12 o'clock here in Texas and 1 o'clock on the East Coast. But I am so glad that Veronica set this meeting up for us today. Have you had a chance to speak with her lately?
So I don't really know Veronica. I know that she was an intern here and then got hired, full time. I try to be very aware of when someone sends me a referral because I like it when people take my referrals. So because she sent me an email and introduced the two of us, I thought that I could carve out 15 minutes of my schedule for you.
Well, I'm very appreciative of that. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know that you are very busy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The reason that I am here today is to learn a little bit more about DLL and yourself as program manager, and then also just give you a brief overview of ReliaQuest. I know we don't have too much time today. So how does that sound with you?
I didn't know what to expect, so that sounds great.
Awesome. Well, I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you if that's okay. I'd like to switch contact information and just give you an overview of my agenda.
Sure.
Perfect. So here's my little virtual business card I have for you. Please feel free to take down my email and phone number and contact me if you have any questions following this presentation.
Okay.
So here's my agenda I have for you today. Really, my goal is to learn more about DLL and the overall goals of the firm, and then also learn about your role and responsibilities as program manager and what challenges you're facing with cybersecurity. Specifically on that Garvin account, I know that we mentioned that in our email correspondence, but I'm really looking to dive deeper into that specific account and the concerns that you're having. And then I would like to provide you a brief overview of ReliaQuest and gray matter capabilities. Once again, I know we don't have too much time today, so we'll just keep that very brief. And then if all goes well, I would love to establish some next steps and set up a follow-up meeting with you. Is there anything that I missed or anything that you would like to add to that agenda today?
No, that sounds great.
Okay, awesome. And before I get into my knowledge of DLL and the company, I just want to clarify, we have about 15 minutes for our meeting today. Is that correct?
Yes, and I do have a hard stop.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I will make sure that I make the most of your time today and I end right on that 15-minute mark. So I would like to go ahead now and go into my knowledge of DLL. As you know, I did intern with the company, so please feel free to pause and correct me, however, if anything has changed since my time in being with the company.
Okay.
So DLL is a global vendor finance company offering solutions across many different industries, some of those including agriculture, technology, and healthcare, which I know we're here to discuss today with that Garvin account. And the company has an annual revenue of about $10 billion, which is quite an accomplishment. You also have industry expertise through your in-depth knowledge of those specific markets. So you have a diverse portfolio, but that expertise is really what sets you apart from your competitors. And then lastly, this Garvin project, I know that we touched on it in our email correspondence, but I really want to go further into that. I know there was an announcement of the COVID vaccine and the cybersecurity attacks have just increased 100-fold. So I'm very excited to learn more about that today and hear some of your concerns that you have. So before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I have some questions for you, and I am going to be taking notes so that I make sure I address all of your concerns, if that's okay with you. But is there anyone else that you would like to invite in and sit in on this meeting today?
No, it's just me today.
Okay. And if this meeting does go well, is there anyone else that you would like to invite in on a follow-up meeting?
What would that follow-up meeting be about?
So we would provide you a more detailed presentation of gray matter and the capabilities and be able to come up with a more tailored solution for you. Today, I'm really just looking to see what concerns you have so we can come up with a solution for you.
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not part of the cybersecurity team, so I wouldn't be able to make any decisions like changes or anything like that. I do work with that team, so I may be able to make some, introductions based on whatever we discussed today.
Okay, so would the IT people be in on the next meeting?
Depending on what we like, whatever the outcome of this meeting is, which I'm not 100% sure yet, I might be able to make some introductions over there because I do work with people on the cybersecurity team.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into my questions I have for you now, and I am going to be taking notes if that's okay with you.
Okay, sure.
So tell me a little bit more about this Garvin project and specifically the challenges you are seeing as program manager.
So for me, I don't have any challenges because of Garvin. I feel like I have worked because of Garvin because my space is in healthcare and clean technology. So I'm the liaison between IT and the business side of the house. So I'm not actually talking to Garvin. Okay. But my understanding is that because of a high profile news release they just put out talking about the vaccine they're working on, that it made us a target based on our business dealings with them.
Okay. And I know you mentioned you don't really talk with them specifically, but are you seeing firsthand these attacks, or do you know of specifically how many attacks that are coming through each day with this account?
So I don't know how many, and I don't know, because of my limited knowledge of cybersecurity, I don't know if the IT team has broken down what attacks are related to what client. I just know that the number of attacks that we've gotten each day or each month have like increased by like 100-fold. Okay. But I don't know if that's specifically to Garvin or not. I think that's just speculation.
Okay. So tell me more about the effect that this is having on your job as program manager.
So the biggest thing is that there's no time. Like everybody in cybersecurity is super busy. I need to continue to have meetings for them on other things, not just this one attack issue, because I'm, meeting with the business side, then meeting with them, making sure everybody's requirements meet up. So there's no time because they're focused only on this increase of threats. And then that's the talk that everyone wants to talk about. So it doesn't leave time for just normal keeping the lights on type of business conversation.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is really time is at the forefront of your mind right now, that you're really needing someone to come in and address these attacks so you can focus on other things as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you by chance know how you all are handling these attacks? Is it in-house or using a third party?
So my understanding is that it's in-house. Like we actually have a cybersecurity, I don't know if it's considered a platform or a software, but we have something program-wise that the team uses. And apparently it's not doing what it needs to do. So it's causing extra work. And they're even talking about maybe even hiring extra staff.
Okay. So if this problem is not fixed, what could be the existing result on even your job as program manager or this existing Garvin account?
So if my understanding is that if these attacks continue at this rate and we don't do something, that our IT team, their time is going to be consumed with working on these threats. So which just opens up a whole nother problem. If one of them gets through, it could be catastrophic for our entire company.
Yes, and we do not want that to happen at all. So if I could show you a way in our next meeting how ReliaQuest, specifically through our gray matter technology, could provide you above and beyond cybersecurity protection and immediately shut down these threats, is that something that you would be interested in hearing about?
I would love to hear about. I can't make the decision, but I would love to know like what your company could do.
Okay, well, I know today is just a brief meeting, so I am just going to give you a brief overview of ReliaQuest, and we can get into the specific details in the next meeting and bring in whoever we need to sit on there. So I am going to just summarize what we've talked about so far to make sure I have your concerns down before I get back into my presentation. How does that sound?
Okay.
So you have been facing some challenges with cybersecurity through this Garvin project with this announcement of the COVID-19 vaccine and this news release. And really what I'm hearing is it is just taking up so much time. That is the biggest stressor for you. You have a lot of other things along with your employees that you need them to be working on, but this account is just taking up so much time. So you're really needing someone to come in and take care of these attacks so that time can be freed up. And if this problem is not fixed, it could really result in a catastrophic result that we really do not want to happen. So is there any other concerns that you have that you would like to address before we move on to the presentation again?
No, that pretty much hits everything that you just described, everything we talk about in our meetings.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen with you. And first, I have these frightening cybersecurity statistics. You do seem to understand that this is a problem on this account, but since you don't really deal directly with IT, I won't waste your time or spend too much on this slide. So moving forward to who we are at ReliaQuest, our mission is to defend the world's most trusted brands. And we do that through believing that cybersecurity is a team sport. And here at the bottom of my screen, you can see some of the brands that we work with. So Darden, AAA, we even work with large name companies such as Southwest Airlines. So we're able to understand what large attacks they're seeing on their accounts and come back to the table and be proactive with our other accounts that we work with and prevent them before they even happen. So we work with over 250 customers with a 97% retention rate. And this is something that we're very proud of, as it really proves the value that we bring to our clients. And we also have a 400% increase in threat detection capabilities. So this is something that I always like to highlight as well, as it really proves to you how we can take the stress off of you and your employees and really take care of the attacks and help you sleep better at night. So moving forward to how we're able to do all of this, we do this through our technology gray matter. And once again, I won't go too in depth into all of the details of this. I really just want to scratch the surface and provide a brief overview for you, as I know you're not directly in IT. But we do this through our visibility, automation, and continuous measurement capabilities. So really what I always like to highlight is this really allows you to take the stress off of your back as well as your employees and put time back into your day by handling these cybersecurity attacks. So it really frees up your schedule and you're able to work on those other projects, as I know you mentioned is one of the biggest stressors that you're dealing with right now. So
So can I ask you a question? Because this looks really difficult, like really complicated. How long does it take to implement this type of thing? Because looks really difficult.
So just to clarify, your concern is this is very difficult and you're curious about the amount of time it takes to integrate this technology?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a 90-day implementation phase. And while it can look very overwhelming and it is very tedious, we actually have something called a universal translator. So that is what sets us apart from all of our competitors. We're able to come in and integrate with your technology. And we have a team that comes in and takes your employees step by step. So it is a seamless process and it takes the stress off of you, because we understand you have a lot of other things to worry about, and the cybersecurity should be what we're worrying about and taking care of for your company. Does that satisfy that concern?
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. I'm thinking 90 days, that's 3 months. I think they're looking for something faster, but that seems reasonable.
So the full implementation phase is 90 days, but you are able to see the benefits from gray matter immediately. So you do immediately see some of these benefits, and the full implementation is the 90-day period.
Okay.
Yes. So do you see how gray matter and ReliaQuest, just after this brief overview, could come in and save you time and take the stress off of yourself and your employees to work on other things?
It definitely looks great to me. I'm assuming that people on the IT side would think that it is.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to go ahead and set up a follow-up meeting and bring in some of those IT people so we can come up with a tailored and detailed response to the issues that you're having on this Garvin account. So why don't we go ahead and set up a follow-up meeting for next Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and we can bring our team in and discuss those details.
1 minute left.
How would that meeting be different? Because like I told you at the beginning, I can't make any decisions. This isn't even my team.
That's okay. So this would be different because we would bring in a different presentation with more detailed, tailored things of gray matter as to how they could specifically address your issues that you're having on this Garvin account. So it would be more detailed, and we could discuss with the IT team how we can specifically help them and figure out what else needs the IT team is having as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I might be able to get one person from our IT team there.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do next Wednesday at 2. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and I'll follow up this information. I look forward to meeting with you all next Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Okay, sounds great.
Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.